It's Saturday. It's Hollywood Balls. It's the football app. It's me, Geordie Pete. Normally, you know, we have a bit of a. We've got to pay respect to it. It's been quite the week for news. It's been the most explosive week for news. 6 names that were never far away from all of the main headlines: legal battles, power plays, fans' views. Enough about that. Colin the Caterpillar. Let's get on with the show. And just for any of you who are interested, the Super 6 were Colin, Cuthbert, Cecil, Wiggles, Hurley, and Clyde. If you don't know, have a look after the show. Welcome on all. Welcome to the Facebook crowd. Welcome to the TFA family, the community. Welcome to YouTube. Welcome to Super Kev. Welcome to George, the main man from TFA. And welcome to our very special guest, Alexandra Haddow. How are you?
All good. Great. Lovely.
Good stuff. I'm going to start with you, Alexandra, our special guest. So you get the honours to go first. Welcome to Hollywood Balls. Writer and comedian. We'll get into what you do, but I mean, what have you been up to recently? Because it's got to be difficult in your industry.
I'd say I've been mostly up to panicking. That's been my sort of main 9 to 5. No, it's been a mad year. I mean, this is what a really good sort of online setup you've got here, and it seems like people are really going for the online stuff now. But at the start of lockdown, when all my work kind of went overnight, whenever I've had a lull in work before, I work in my mate's pub. Obviously, that's completely gone as well. So it's been mad. But I've been doing Zoom shows, which can be brilliant, or can be like you're just doing a sort of weird, stylish terrorist video if nobody responds. If they don't have people switched on to laugh back and get any feedback, it just looks like you're doing a weird sort of protest. It's very strange.
I've got to ask you though, because the timing was so poor. Because just for people to so they can know, I mean, literally, there you were opening for Frankie Boyle, and then boom, we're all in lockdown. I mean, talk about timing.
That was I always say, like, oh, that's how good at timing I am with comedy. Like that, I peaked just as the world went into lockdown. It was mad. Yeah, he asked me to support him at a show at Soho Theatre, and he was kind of, when I used to like work on the Asda checkout when I was 18, 19, I used to rush home and like leave early. I was a horrible employee. And just see him on Mock the Week, when he was kind of there at its peak. And so he was kind of my, a huge hero in my eyes. And then it's the last gig he's still done to date. That was the last one. And he, because I did some kind of in the interim, like when things were sort of opening, who knows the dates now, like late summer last year.
All a blur.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, that was a really surreal moment, hearing him introduce me on stage. And I was like, it's only going to go up from, okay.
And your football, like this, I love this because we've chatted all week about the show and what to expect. Football wise, you're a Man United fan, right?
Yeah, I am. Sorry, Kevin.
How?
Doesn't mind Man United.
No, how? United. I'd like to know how.
I'll tell you how. David Beckham.
All right. Well, I understand that.
When I was a kid, I loved David Beckham so much, and that made me get interested in Man United, and then I've stayed. So,
interestingly though, because you were very keen to point out, as in, not completely fervent. Your dad's got a brilliant phrase for your sort of commitment to the cause, hasn't he?
Yeah, my dad says that I'm not a Man United fan. I'm a Man United well-wisher.
All right.
So,
which I think since Beckham left is probably describes it more. Like, I always want to see them win, but all my lad mates support Liverpool, and they are always like, name 4 of the team, and I'm like, hey.
Who does your dad support,
Well, weirdly, my dad is a huge football fan and doesn't really support anyone, which I find really
Good for him. Good for him.
He's got.
I think he's watching as well. So hi, Dad.
Dad.
Hello, Dad. Hi, Dad.
You've got to pick one. Someone.
Do you know what? He used to support Wolves as a kid, and then kind of supported United a bit when I supported them in like the class of '92 days. Honestly, every time I'm watching United now, I'm like, bring Beckham on. He'll lift the team. He'll lift them psychologically. I still think he would.
I don't disagree with you. Brilliant. So we'll be hearing from you throughout the show. We've got you lined up to do your predictions. Predictions, Kev. Just so you know, Alexandra, it's an absolute minefield with our Kevin up top there because literally he is
competitive. I am competitive.
He's competitive to say the least. We've got 7 in today, including Danny Kwang. Now, I'm giving Danny a mention because Danny's from Trinidad. I grew up in Trinidad. My sister was born there. And he's basically refining some Caribbean Trinidadian hot sauce, Kev. Right?
Oh, lovely,
right
lovely.
So I want to give Danny a shout out because he's going to be sending a couple of jars down. So Danny's taking part as well.
Pete, can I just say this? This show has even got my brother doing the predictions.
There you go.
I'm telling you. Wow.
How did we do last week? Was it awful?
George, you know, I have to say, you're there, you're steady away. It was a joint effort last week. Kev with our guest Liam, 3 points each, but we're not reaching the heights, and it leads me nicely into Barry Ashworth, who still holds the record on 7. And lo and behold, Barry from the Dub Pistols is in today, Kev.
Barry's back. The one-hit wonder is back. Hasn't won it since 7 points. Barry, you're going down again.
I'm going to beat him.
That's what we want to hear. Now, speaking of going down, Kev, we'll start with you. We can't. I mean, what a week! I mean, literally, Super League, no Super League, protests. What was going on at Arsenal last night?
Well, I could honestly say, Pete, I was very proud of the protests because the disregard that the ownership of the football club had for traditional fans and the fan base in the way they done their business. Listen, we know football clubs are going to do their business, but they've had total disregard to the fan base. And the fan base, this was the bale of straw that broke the camel's back, because Arsenal have been regressing year on year. And when you look at this was the final straw. So everyone came out in force. Yeah. It was a united front. And, you know, the game was kind of an irrelevance, if you can even say that, because the fan base got their point across. Arsenal lost the game 1-0, didn't even turn up. Everton weren't great, but they were a little bit better and got the break after a terrible mistake by the goalkeeper. But the highlight for me was the fans. The fan base showing their disdain and distrust of the ownership.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
We've always said the fans are the most important element, constituent of the game. And it was so wonderful to see every fan come together. Yeah. Man U fans and Liverpool fans came together as one. Spurs and Arsenal fans came together as one.
True.
It was unified, and it was without question everybody on the same page. And it shows you the power the fans really have. It was wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah.
George, I've got to say, you know, we're talking about the fans, and we're talking about the guys, representatives from each club I can't even bring myself to call them the Super Six. Is from a business perspective something that you're very, very good at. It's hardly the best launch, was it?
No, it was very ill-conceived, very ill-thought, and I think they underestimated the fan. And it's shocking, and I'm equally critical of each of the six. It's not the club guys, it's not the employees, it's not the players, it's not the fans. It's name them and shame them. It's Daniel Levy, it's Cronkite, it's the Glazers, it's the guys at Liverpool, FSG. We know who it is. Abramovich, who apologised today
Sheikh Mansour in there.
Sheikh Mansouri. Shame on them.
Yep.
Shame on them for one, trying to do something without consulting their employees, without consulting their fans. Shame on them.
Shame on them. I've got to say, it's been quite a week, and I love all your messages. Thanks for keep them coming throughout the week. Obviously, the show they're flying in now. I've got to say a big thank you to last night's guest on our African business show, George. Absolutely fantastic. Naki Haddow was on, and she was talking about the progression of football in Uganda. Quite incredible response we had last night. So I just wanted to say hi to Naki and to everyone in Uganda who's watching the show today as well. So hi, guys.
It was a great show, wasn't it? She was fabulous.
She was
fantastic.
Absolutely great. But I reiterate what I said to her. Hopefully her team will not win today. She's a Liverpool fan. Okay. Moving on. What else have we got? Got a message for Kev. Speaking to Brad Friedel in the week.
Top guy, Brad.
Yeah, Brad's going to be coming on the show, which is awesome news. And he said, say hi to Kevin.
Nice.
So Brad Friedel, John Beresford as well as lined up. He's waiting in
Good.
the wings. Come on, Geordie hero there. Now, something for you guys. Kev, we touched on this a couple of weeks ago. Alexandra, you're on Twitter. I love Twitter. It can be, I know it gets pulled, but if you're in the right areas, there's some really good stuff.
For jokes. Yeah,
exactly, jokes and material. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we stumbled across a guy called Artie Bianco, Sheffield United illustrator, and he does illustrations of all the football teams. Right. And he probably wish he'd never started now, because he did one for Newcastle, and he's had about 600,000 replies saying, can I have this player in? Can I have that player in? So he's now changing the Newcastle lineup every week because of demand. He does them for Man United, he does them for Arsenal, he does them for Liverpool, but he said he's had no appetite like the ones he has for Newcastle. So currently, and I know he often tunes in and watches, but if you look down on the bottom left-hand side of your screen, you'll see a certain John Burridge.
I see Budgie there. Yeah, look at it.
Yeah.
Go on,
Budgie.
Brilliant.
Now, Budgie's often comments on this show, and he's a media partner with Kevin for La Liga. So if you're watching, John, you've made it onto Artie Bianco's first 30, I think it is. And we have to say, Kev, I'm still waiting on feedback on you getting on the Arsenal Legends.
He's not doing mine because I scored too many goals against Sheffield United. He's not happy.
So a special shout out for Artie. Keep that going. There's also a picture there of Kenny Wharton of Newcastle. The older fans will remember him sitting on the ball, 4-0 up against Luton Town. To have those days again. So great stuff. George, got to come to you because we've got such a busy show. It's cup final weekend amongst everything that's going on. Your beloved Spurs are playing. Have you got the old Wembley fever?
I have. I think, like most Spurs fans, we're all thrilled that we now have a change in leadership on the pitch. Although Ryan Mason is an interim step, he's already managed to lift the players and the spirits. So we're looking forward to it. I think Manchester City are the clear favourites, but it's the cup, and over 95 minutes, anything can happen. The only way Spurs have a chance is if their spirits are up and they're motivated. And I think the events of the week has caused that. So well played, Ryan Mason, and let's bring it on.
Ryan Mason, is he allowed out of school for this one? Is he?
Yeah, I know. God, he looks younger than my kids, and my kids are 17 and 15. Yeah.
Got to give a big shout out to your to your son George. Is he on the mend this morning? He had a bit of
he's on the mend. Yeah, he had a football injury. He rounded the goalkeeper. The goalie took him out and did his elbow.
But no VAR, no.
X-ray's all good, and he scored. That's good, but that's all good.
Speaking of Wembley, Alexandra, have you ever been to Wembley?
I haven't been to Wembley, no. I've been to Old Trafford a few times, but never Wembley.
Never Wembley?
No.
On the list?
I'm now trying to think now. I went to England versus Jamaica, a friendly before the World Cup a few years ago, but that was Old Trafford. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been. It's bad, isn't it?
One to do, and probably one to play for you for the future in gigs.
Yeah, yeah.
Kev, I've got to ask you, you've had a really busy week, fresh from Sky Sports, quite a bit. I have to say, I tweeted your son the other day because he put up a tweet about him training. Now, he was obviously having a joke with everyone. And, of course, I fell for it, hook, line and sinker. And I tweeted Tyrese. He said, great, good luck, you're back. It's like, no, mate, I think I missed the point completely. How's he doing?
Yeah, he's doing all right. He's back in the building. I think that's the point. He's back in the building.
That was it. That was it.
Back in the building.
I completely lost the plot, and I was like, "He's back! He's back!"
Yeah. No, he's back in the building, and he's all doing the strengthening work and all that now. So, they're going to take their time with him. They've written they've written the season off when he done it,
which is a good thing.
Which is a good thing. So he could take his time and get it right for next season. I think that's really important.
What's your input on the cup final? It's a massive game for both sides, really, isn't it?
Yeah, massive game, especially as Chelsea, beat Man City last week. I think it's that kind of steals Man City to try and make sure they get this trophy to do the treble. Now, I think Spurs do have a chance, but Harry Kane has to be fit. I don't know if Harry Kane's going to be fit. I think he puts the fear of God into Man City, which allows other players to exploit Man City if possible. So I think Spurs do have a chance, but as George says, City are favourites.
Debbie Steedman, Debbie, who watches James Martin, but generally tries to pop in on a Saturday to have a bit of a crack with us. She's had to nip out the shops, lads, but she'll be back later. James Martin's obviously doing, I don't know, he'd be doing chocolate cake or something. So Debbie will see. There's no rush. Just whenever you're ready. Kev, amazing. Tell us a little bit about, you've got Sky Sports, you've got La Liga. Is there any time just for you? I mean, you've been on Sky several times in the last 10 days, and then you've got your La Liga show. You're on here with us as well.
Yeah, do the hybrid squad.
Yeah,
as well. Also do a column, football column.
Do you need a break?
Who wants time for themselves anymore? This lockdown. Listen, I've had enough time with lockdown.
True.
To last a lifetime. I love being busy. I love getting involved. I get involved with loads of different podcasts as well.
Yeah.
Mostly Arsenal podcasts. For the fans, I think it's important that an ex-player links up with the fans and they could hear a player's point of view. So that's what I do. I don't need time for myself. When I want time for myself, I'll take it.
Got to say, you mentioned the podcast and stuff. Got to say hi to the girls at the Highbury squad who kindly had me on my show earlier this season. It's great. And we were talking before, I mentioned it to Alexandra as well, that what lockdown has brought is the ability to be able to do this and also to have people's fans' opinions, which is important. But like you say, Kev, if you've got a player or someone who's close to the club or close to the game, that can sort of create that stepping stone between the fan and the player and give us a sort of player's eye view of what's going on. It brings us increasingly closer to the game that we all love.
Yeah, it should, Pete. You call it the stepping stone. Some call it a bridge. You need a bridge sometimes because the fan in the stand thinks about football one way, and what actually goes on internally sometimes is different. Yeah. So if you get somebody who can bridge the gap, obviously I'm an Arsenal fan, been Arsenal fan all my life, but I've been in the dressing room and I've been in the dressing rooms against Arsenal, against Spurs, without that rivalry there as well. So, it does make a difference when you hear it from a different perspective.
We just flashed the code up there for our football app family all over the world. Messages flying in from Cyprus, Turkey, Bangladesh, Nigeria. George, you've got to say, very exciting news about it. I know it's a watch this space. I nearly played my part and you're giving it away last night because I got so excited. But there's big news to come for our followers, isn't there?
Yeah, listen, we have a global community and it's growing. We love the community. The community belongs to themselves. It's not our community. We're just honored to be part of it and help facilitate it. But in recognition of that, we will soon be announcing a foundation that will have a lot of power to allocate a lot of the TFC tokens for great causes and clubs and great clubs all over the world, right? You know, Pete, I will do something in Africa. Whether it's Nigeria, whether it's Kenya, whether it's Uganda, whether it's all three, we want to help, right? This foundation will set the world alight, right? And there'll be some great names doing it. I won't be involved because I'm not a great name, nor should I be, nor Steve. But it's very exciting. It will make a big difference for the world. We can't wait. Looking forward to hearing more about that. Big games this weekend, none more so than my beloved Newcastle go to Liverpool. Someone said to me, I hope Shelvey, I think it was Mike Jones tweeted me this morning and said, let's hope that Shelvey's running the midfield. And I wrote back to him, I said, Mike, I'm not being funny, but you've probably got more chance of me running the midfield against Liverpool than Shelvey. We'll touch on that in a minute. But Man United are in action. And I wanted to touch on this, Kev. Alexandra's beloved Beckham United, as we'll call them for this show. They're playing Leeds. Exactly. Legacy fan. They're at Leeds, which is probably one of the oldest rivalries. I was reading this morning, Kev, that Fred of Manchester United said it's the equivalent. It's the English Classico.
Well, maybe listen. If the Manchester United Leeds rivalry, goes deep and is built on hatred. Many people don't understand this because Leeds haven't really been there. Yeah,
I remember it back in the day.
I'm sure you would, Alexandra, because it meant so much. You know, this is serious, and especially if fans were allowed in. Wow, then you will get something. Then you will get something real spicy. Yeah, but the rivalry is still there, and obviously for a player like Fred to call it the Classico. We know it's not a Classico, but it means that much.
Yeah. I mean, you read stories, and from the '60s and the '70s where that rivalry was at its height, right? As Kevin says, it's never dissipated. It's never gone away, right? It's great. And listen, I love Leeds. They play great football. I take my hat off to them. It's an exciting game.
Debbie's back. On the chef vibe. She was asking us that when we're going to get a chef on that likes football.
I know, Debbie, stop dissing me.
She loves her James Martin, she loves her chefs, but she loves the show. She's in and she's on board. I'm trying frantically to try and find a chef that we can get on for Debbie, so we've got her for the whole show. Kev, it's obviously in our predictions, the Leeds Man United, but it's not helped, is it, by the old Cantona going to Man United for £1 million.
Look, and don't forget, they sold Ferdinand.
Yeah.
Cantona went there. Alan Smith went there. So, you know what I mean? It's like, and when you sell to your rivals, you don't want your rivals to do well, do you? You wish the player well, but you don't want it to do well. And then seeing all these players win titles and win Champions Leagues, you can imagine the steam must be coming out of the Leeds fans' ears. Crazy.
Got to say before I'll get hundreds of messages saying I'm favouring Man United. I'm not. I find it. I love all of this, I mean, I have it myself with Newcastle and Sunderland, which gives me a great opportunity to mention Mickey Gray again, who's still looking for the derbies for next season. Sorry, Mickey, not going to be happening. But you look at Leeds, and they've had a great season, George. You in particular have been impressed with them. And funnily enough, when we get onto it later, it's you can see that in the predictions because the Leeds Man United prediction section is literally littered with goals.
Yeah. The style of football, the energy that Leeds have is wonderful. You know what you're going to get. They never change it. It's always entertaining. For sure, sometimes they may be naive, but I think it's been refreshing. When you consider they were in the Championship last season, they've done really well. So they're one of my teams of the season, I must say. I think it's been wonderful for the Premier League, and that's a great compliment. When you say a team's been wonderful for the Premier League, and they were in the Championship last year, you can't find a better compliment. So well done, Leeds. It's fantastic.
It's been a breath of fresh air in what has been a difficult season, obviously with no fans. I'd just like to see Bielsa and his bucket. I think it's a fantastic story, and I love the fact that he just completely refuses to speak English in any of his real post-match stuff, and he looks at the floor with utter disdain. So I'm predicting goals. We're going to move on to our baller of the week, Hollywood baller of the week. Jace Edwards is in. He's having a go at you. His baller of the week's last night's keeper, Kev.
Oh, it would be for Jace, wouldn't it? Of course it would be for Jace.
Never seen it. Nutmeg himself. Anyway,
painful, Jace. Painful.
Well, you'll get your back later. But have you got a hero of the week for us, Kev?
Yeah, I actually have, Pete. And it will come as no surprise to people that Lionel Messi is the baller of the week. Scores a couple of goals in the Copa del Rey final.
Yep.
And then scores a couple of goals on Thursday night. And then they get a penalty in virtually the last knockings of the game.
Okay.
For his hat-trick, gives it to Anton Griezmann so we can get on the score sheet. I was like, whoa. Now that is class. It was a class thing to do. I'm going to give it to him. Scored 2 goals in that game. And then obviously 2 goals in the Copa del Rey. First trophy for Barcelona this season. Fantastic.
As a player, though, Kev, doesn't the gaffer go mad when players do that? Give him the ball, wait for the penalty.
Not when you line on Messi.
Well, do you know what? If the player scores, the manager doesn't say nothing. But if you miss, you could imagine Koeman would have been going crazy.
Okay, Hollywood baller of the week on her debut. Alexandra, have you got a hero for us?
I've got a hero of the week, but mine's probably less technical based. Mine's about the spirit of the game, because I think probably Jordan Henderson or Patrick Bamford talking about, if there was as much. Am I echoing a bit?
A little bit, yeah. If you want to stick your headphones on, we'll come back.
My emergency headphones.
Emergency headphones.
Yeah, I think those guys kind of opposing the Super League and everything. I think that deserves a bit of a commendation, because it's very Tory, isn't it? The Super League, like that's just. Yeah. And it's bad if a Tory government has to step in and say you're being too money driven.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think that it's nice to see the players that have spoken out. And
exactly. Yeah,
quite a few this week. So here, all ballers of the week. George, what you got for us?
I had just like Alexandra. So I'll change it. I had Jordan Henderson solely because he was the most vocal captain to say no to this, right? And I think Jordan, his family, his club should be proud of him. I am, and I'm a crazy Spurs fan. But given that Alexandra's chosen him, I'm going to be biased. I'm going to choose an odd one. I'm going to choose a manager. I'm going to choose Ryan Mason for lifting the very, very low spirits at Spurs. I think he's done a great job. So I'm going to take my hat off to him. I want to say, though, Kevin, La Liga, what an exciting... I know we keep talking about this. It could be any of the top 3, right?
4.
Yeah. Well,
any of the top 4. Sevilla are right there.
Sevilla, and they have good momentum, but it's fascinating. Brilliant. To be honest, I don't want Real Madrid or Barcelona to win it. I love them only for the good of the game, right?
Yeah.
But it's fascinating. It's fascinating.
And George, sorry, Pete, let me just say this.
No, go for it.
Because of what's happened with the Super League, you can imagine the swell, the swell of support for any opposition of these 2 teams has grown. So it's brilliant.
Fantastic. Oh, also, can I just say, honorary mention, David Beckham had his first game with Inter Miami this week, so I just have to say.
What was the score?
They lost, didn't they?
No, I don't know. So listen, you're our correspondent. I don't know what the score was, but they lost. Because he was posting loads of stuff about the first game of the season, and then it was like, better luck next time after all the fanfare.
After all of that, David Beckham, our own Beckham Bugle, will be coming back to you next week for a Beckham update.
Yeah,
you can get him on the show. We'll just leave that one with you to get him on here on Hollywood Balls. It's got the right name, hasn't it? So it's actually named after something Beckham would do, because people do ask where the name Hollywood Balls comes from. It's not golden, it's Hollywood. It's about his passing ability. Okay, moving swiftly on from that. keeping all the messages coming in. Guys, if you would, please do subscribe to the channel. We'll keep you up to date with all of the guests that are coming up in the coming weeks. And of course, please do have a look at all of the information and our main sponsor, the Football App, the #1 football community in the world. Okay, other big games this weekend, Kevin. A very special game at Anfield is Liverpool against Newcastle. It goes way back. I don't like to mention the 4-3s, obviously, because they pain me greatly. I was at both of them. But, before that as well, if you go back to the history between the clubs, there's a huge history there. Very similar cities, very similar supporters, very similar outlooks. And I remember sort of 84, and Kevin Keegan was playing for Newcastle. And of course, he had that great history with Liverpool himself. And we drew them in the cup. And there was about 21,000 Newcastle fans went to Anfield. Liverpool won 4-0. Of course they did. But I think that day was Brian Moore was the commentator, and he just kept saying that he couldn't believe the atmosphere that was being generated. So there has been that special relationship between the two clubs. And on that note, I'll say Newcastle probably get beat 4-0 today because of the first match.
Yeah, it's a difficult one for Newcastle. I look at this game and I think when I speak to any of people I know who support Newcastle, Liverpool is one of the first games they look for.
Yeah, it is.
Because of that history. But it's always better with fans. When the tsunami's there, and then especially at Anfield, Anfield does create a special atmosphere, and the tsunami there just makes it even more special. So no fans there. I think it's going to be a difficult one for Newcastle. They've had a couple of good results, and I think you're right, Pete. I think they're going to go down today. But they've had a couple of good results. You never know, but they're going down.
Cheers. I'll just find that mute button. I've got to say though, Kev, one of the great games that I did go to was a friend of yours and mine, Steve Watson. Yeah. It was a cup quarter final, and he scored, and he laughs. When I last caught up with Watto, he says, "Tell me again what your favourite all-time goal is." It's not Shearer. And I said, "No, it's not. It's yours at Anfield." And you know it is. It was a special night at Anfield where they won in the quarter-final of the League Cup. Steve Watson scored that tremendous goal. And I think out of the 4 times I've been to Anfield, that's the only time I've ever seen them win. And I don't expect that to change today. Liverpool, Newcastle is on. Leeds, Man United. Alexandra, I've got to ask you, have you ever been to Newcastle?
I've not been to the stadium. I've been to Newcastle.
Yeah, in the city.
Yeah. But I used to go out with a guy from Spennymoor. If you know.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, I do. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been a few times. It's a great city.
Shout out to Spennymoor this morning. Brilliant. Was it on the sort of? I know that your gigs got pulled because of where you're at.
Yeah.
Did you have a plan? Was there sort of was there a feature list of where you were going to go?
It was kind of. I play Manchester a lot as well. The Frog and Bucket Comedy Club there is a great club. I don't know if you guys know it. But yeah, it was getting more and more. Like sort of different places, because I'm based in London, so a lot of the gigs I do are in London. But then it was kind of getting. Sometimes you get called to an absolutely mental gig. The weirdest gig I ever did was in Aldershot. I don't know if you know it. And honestly, me and my friend got booked last minute because somebody had pulled out, and we got there, and it's kind of like an army town. It's like an army
squaddy town.
Squaddy town. Yeah. Well, honest to God, I felt like I wasn't a comedian. I was just like an army captain. It was just trying to control a crowd. Like we got there, and the promoter was like, "So we don't have a mic or a stage. You just stand in the corner of the pub." And we were like, "What the hell is going on?" And this pub was like, I love a rough pub, but this was it. They were just shouting at each other, not at me. They weren't even heckling me. They were just having their own fight. So that sort of stuff you don't miss so much. But no, the plan was kind of to ride off the back of the sort of Frankie Boyle gig, and and get different. And there was a few international sort of things coming up, and then it just you don't know what's going to happen now. It is all opening up again, which is really nice, and it's mad. But you get to do stuff like this, where Zoom gigs, anybody from all over the world. My friend in Singapore was tuning in some of mine and stuff. So you've got to think about the positives, really.
Yeah, and we'll have to line you up with the Laughter Factory in Dubai.
Yes, that's what my friends just played that last week. Yeah. So great! It's Gail and the gang from the Laughter Factory.
Hi to Gail. Known her for many years.
This is great. I can do some networking. It's great.
Yeah,
Get me a gig.
So we'll get that. We'll get that put back for you. Okay. Messages are flying in. I don't know who that is, but I really do hope you're right. Your Topo says you can see Newcastle beating Liverpool today. He's obviously got a lot clearer vision than I have. Liverpool to win. Taiwan says the same. Got to agree. Lionel Messi is a god. Can't disagree with that. Is he the greatest of all time, though? Is it him or is it Ronaldo? Let me know. Okay, so we've covered Liverpool and Newcastle. Kev's got over his disappointment of Arsenal. George is looking forward to the cup final. I think it's probably going to have to be time to get our predictions on, because it literally, we've got so many people coming in every week now. Yeah, everyone is. It's definitely the moment of the week, Kev, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is.
3 points for you last week. 3 points for our guest, who was.
So you get a point
Liam.
if you got it right.
You get 2 points for a right score and 1 point for a result.
Okay. I'm quite competitive. I'm ready.
George, I think you and I probably best duck out of this one. Just so everybody knows, Kev takes the scores as well, and he also notes down what time they were the scores were brought in.
All the details, Alexandra. I know everything because I want to win.
Kev, same. I'm very competitive, but I'm not a cheat. You write down everything, mate.
All right,
I'm ready.
All right.
Here we go.
Okay, so we said 3 points last week was was Liam Kennedy and Super Kevin Campbell. This week, first game up, Kev, is Liverpool against Newcastle.
And it's at Anfield.
It is, yeah.
Am I going first, or is our esteemed guest going first?
Actually, yes, ladies first.
Okay.
Liverpool, Newcastle.
See what a gentleman I am? See?
You are, Kev. Thank
you
need
to show me up. Thanks for that.
No, do you know what? I know because of all my mates support Liverpool. I know they've not been having a good run. They're still, I think they're still riding their own coattails from last season. So, I'm gonna say, if it's at Anfield, I'm gonna say 1-1.
Oh, yes, great. You'll take. I definitely take that.
Please,
George.
please, so happy.
Yeah, I'd take a point now. We can end the show on that. We're not better in that.
You never know. You never know.
You never know. It's football.
I'm telling you.
I've made that more difficult for myself, haven't I? Oh no, because if it's 2-2, I still get 1 point, don't I?
Yeah. What you got for us, George? What you got for us?
I'm going to go Liverpool 3, Newcastle 1. Newcastle 1.
Yeah. Kev?
I've got the same, to be honest, George. I've got the same down there, 3-1.
Okay.
To Liverpool.
With us today, we've got Jez, we've got Andy, we've got Carl Walsh from Wallsend, we've got Jace, we've got Danny Kwang, we've got Paulo Clifford, Sunderland fan, South Shields lad, great lad. We've got Amanda, aka Princess Guna, who Kev knows very well.
Is she in?
Yes, Amanda's in. And she says to say, you know how well she does with predictions, Kev.
She's bananas, that one. She's bananas.
And last but not least, we got Barry Ashworth from the Dub Pistols, Kev's nemesis. So
season, one hit wonder.
Jez has gone 3-0 to Liverpool. Andy's gone a draw, 1-1. Carl Walsh has gone 2-2. Jace has gone 2-1 to Liverpool. Danny Kwang's taken 2s apiece. Paula Clifford's taken 2-0. Amanda's taken 1-1 as well. And Barry Ashworth's taken Liverpool to win 2-1. Okay. Tell you that's why we have to start this earlier and earlier, because there's so many people getting involved, which is brilliant, by the way. West Ham against Chelsea, Alexandra. What you got for that?
Oh, I think that's going to be... Where is it being played? Look at
West
me trying
at West Ham.
Get into my sports psychology. I'm going to say... I'm probably going to say 2-1 Chelsea.
2-1 to Chelsea. George, what you got for us?
2-0 Chelsea.
2-0 Chelsea. Kev?
I've got the same as Alexandra. 2-1 Chelsea. I've got
2-1 to Chelsea. Okay, Jez has gone 3-1 Chelsea. Andy's got a draw, 1s each. Carl Walsh has gone 2-1 Chelsea. Jace has gone 2-1 Chelsea. Danny Kwang's gone 2-1. Jace has not. Jace has taken 2-1 Chelsea. Danny's taken 2-1 West Ham.
Ooh.
Good. Good.
2-1 to Chelsea for Paulo Clifford. Amanda's taken 2-1 to Chelsea, and Barry's taken a score draw ones each. Wow. Kev, have you got all of these?
Yeah. Well, I'm only concentrating on
Jason and Barry.
Jason Barry, you know that. That's all I need to worry about.
Okay, game of the weekend. Leeds against Man United. Alexandra, what you got for us?
I'm going to stay faithful to my boys and say 2-0 United.
2-0 United. George?
I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be goals in it. I'm going to go for a 2-2. I think United are the favourite. United are the favourites, but I think Leeds can give everything they've got. 2-2.
2-2. Good shout out, actually. Kev?
I've gone big, Pete. I'm going big this week. 2 to Leeds, 4 to Manchester United.
Wow.
4-2. Loads of goals.
Can I just say, I've just gone to write down my scores here, and I've got a text from my dad saying, "You've been to Wembley with me."
Brilliant. Memorable, then, was it?
He said, "Remember, all the programmes were being thrown onto the pitch." I've got a good memory. I don't remember it. I don't know what we were there for. Anyway, sorry.
No,
carry on with
line your dad up. We'll have him on next week. Leeds, Man United. So goals from Kev. What else have we got? Jace has gone 2-1. Jez in Thailand's gone 2-1 to Leeds. Andy's taken 1-1. Carl Walsh has taken 2-1 to Man United. Jace has taken 3-2 to Man United.
Ooh.
Could be.
3-2 to Leeds for Danny Kwang. Paul has taken 2s each. Amanda's taken 3-1 to Man United. And Barry Ashworth has taken Leeds to beat Man United 1-0. Wow. Okay. From game of the weekend to, well, it's still an important game for Brighton. Sheffield United at home to Brighton. Alexandra, go for that.
I'm going to say 2-1 to Sheffield.
Okay, good shout that.
Yeah.
I'm going that way, and I know Brighton are on a run, but Brighton look poor and they're getting dragged back into it along with Burnley. George, what you got for us?
Sheffield United 0, Brighton 1.
Okay, good shout.
I've got 2-1 Brighton.
2-1 to Brighton.
Ooh.
Okay. Jez has gone 2-0 Brighton. Andy's gone 1-1 draw. Carl Walsh has done the same. 2-1 for Jace. Jace has taken Sheffield United.
To win 2-1.
To win 2-1, yeah. Danny Kwang's taken 2-1 to Brighton. Paul has taken 2-0 to Sheffield United. Amanda's taken 1-0 to Brighton. And so has Barry Ashworth. Okay. And then
all over the spectrum, huh?
All over the spectrum, yeah. Someone's going to be busy this week.
Oh, Alex, what was your one? What was your score?
Mine was 2-1 to Sheffield.
Right, I thought so. 2-1 to Sheffield, good.
Yeah.
Oh, VAR on the top corner there.
Yeah.
Okay. Last game of the weekend. Leicester City against Crystal Palace.
Leicester are my biggest local team. I'm from Corby originally.
Okay.
And so I've got a bit of a soft spot for them. So I'm going to say 2-0 to Leicester.
Okay, 2-0 to Leicester. George, what have you got for us?
2-0 to Leicester.
Okay, 2-0 to Leicester. Kev?
I've got 2-1 to Leicester.
Okay, you're giving Palace a goal. Jez has gone 3-1 Leicester. Andy's gone 3-1 Leicester. Carl Walsh up in Wallsend has gone 2-0 Leicester. Jace has gone 2-0 Leicester. So has Danny Kwang. Paul has gone 4-1 to Leicester. Amanda's gone 3-1. And Barry Ashworth, rounding this weekend's up, has gone 2-0 to Leicester. There you go. Jeff Stelling, eat your heart out.
Yeah.
Listen, and guys, if our audience loves predictions, they should predict in the football app, right, Pete?
That's the place to do it. Yep, that's the place to do it.
Earn.
So smooth there, George.
And earn. I know. I had to get that in, Alexandra. Right? Wasn't even subtle, was it?
He's got his eyes on the prize.
Well, Alexandra, here's the thing. When you do it here, it's for fun. When you do it in the football app, it's for fun. But when you get predictions right, you earn cryptocurrency.
I bought my first crypto this week, so maybe I'll get into it.
You better.
Yeah, I will. Unless I don't win anything today, in which case I won't try it.
You can see George scribbling a design down now for the football coin. On one side it's got Sander, our logo, and on the other side it's got Beckham, just for Alexandra.
Exactly. Look, it'll sell. People will buy it if his face is on it.
It's doing great. Now listen, George, tell us, for those people that have joined on our YouTube from Hollywood Balls and our Facebook, how do we download the app? It's
well, you download. You just download it from the Play Store. The Google Play Store or iOS Play Store. It's the football app, all one word. It's spelt the Spanish way though, FUTBL. The football app. Yeah, by Panda House. If you put Panda House spelt the German way, HAUS, you'll find it easy. And
basically,
it's fun.
Very European. It's very European.
Yeah,
you've got Spanish, you've got German.
Yeah, well, we did it because it's a global effort. It's not a UK effort. It's not.
Yeah.
It's our goal is to have literally hundreds of millions of users, and for them to enjoy it and earn cryptocurrency free that has value. So it's all fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's that all right. Tony Manuel's in. Hi, Tony. He's saying hi to Kev. Tony's in the Philippines. Tony. Big Newcastle fan. Tony's a great guy. Got some great. We should get Tony on the show. Actually, he's got some brilliant tales from his time when he was jockey over here for His Highness in Dubai. They're all.
Can
on
I just
here.
say super quickly? I've got a claim to fame with you, Kev, that my dad told me about again today.
Here we go, amazing.
Oh, I said I'm on this football show with Kevin Campbell, and my dad went, "Oh, we saw him in Centre Parks 20 years ago when you were about 8 or 9 years old. Was that you? You were with Ian Wright."
When I was about 8 or 9.
No. So it was like 20, 25 years ago, probably. Like, have you ever been to Centre Parks?
I can't remember. With Riley.
Maybe it wasn't you.
No. Maybe we were doing something there as an appearance or something.
A promotion,
maybe.
Oh, right,
maybe we were.
Yeah. Because the weird thing was, my dad went, "There's Ian Wright," and then his mate went, "There's Kevin Campbell."
Maybe you could rustle up a photo. That would be good. 20 years ago.
Just nip down the boots and get a Polaroid done.
Geez.
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't you, Kev. Maybe it's all gone.
Oh, jeez. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. I've just got, I'll say to Danny Kwang, if he can stick an extra bottle of hot sauce in, Kev, we'll get you to taste that as well.
Lovely.
I think we're literally just about out of time. Absolutely fantastic. I'm going to flash the bonus code up again. George, what have you got on this week? What are you up to?
Watching football, and I've got to write a couple of contracts and 3 or 4 Zoom calls. Normal stuff. All good stuff.
But the weekend will be on the George sofa watching the games and hopefully cheering on a Tottenham Wembley win, right?
There you go. That's what we're praying for. The whole kids, all the kids and I are praying for that, and we'll be watching that. Yeah.
Okay, Alexandra, you'll be keeping us all entertained on Twitter until you can get on a stage, no doubt.
Exactly. I'll be trying to dig out a picture of Kev at Centre Parks, getting into the archives. I'm looking forward to getting back to gigging in less than a month in person. So we can't wait. Yeah.
Any lined up?
Yeah, we've got a few. We've got one we've got a few little ones to start off because people have been rusty for a year. But there's a great one we do. I run a comedy production company called What's the Deal Comedy, in the sense of that old hack thing of like, what's the deal with aeroplane food? So we're doing a great one at the Stag's Head, which is an old craze pub in East London, and we've got Alfie Brown down, we've got William Stone. It's going to be Estemanito. It's going to be great. So if you follow me on Twitter and Instagram and stuff, you'll see when everything's coming up. But get in now because the gigs are all cheap while we're trying to be funny again.
Gaz is on for you, Alexandra. Give us a wave.
Hello, Gaz.
There you go. There we go. Look forward to that. Keep us updated so that we can share with.
Come along to a gig.
Get it done. Kev, what have you got on? La Liga, no doubt.
Yeah, I've got La Liga today. After I finish this, I'm on the team's meeting for the Real Madrid game tonight, and then
Matt Reedy, Joe.
Yeah, me, Joe, and Reedy, and then we've got La Liga tonight, got La Liga tomorrow, and then it's the normal week. I've missed Hybrid Squad. I haven't done Hybrid Squad for 4 days, so it's going to be interesting to link up with the ladies again.
Around the studios of Sky, eh?
Yeah. Been too busy rubbing shoulders with the snobs. But I'm a street boy. You know, I'm a street boy. So.
I thought you were fantastic. Hey, who's going to win the La Liga, Kevin? Who's going to win it?
I'm a big Real Madrid man. I'm going to say Real Madrid. But you know what? Atletico have been there all season.
I know, man.
So it's in their hands.
I know.
It's in their hands.
I know. Been a great season.
Yeah,
it's been a fantastic season. Here's to I'm going to look for Colin the Caterpillar because it's probably more worthwhile journey than watching our lot. Shelby and co struggle around the centre of Anfield. Big thanks to everyone. All I ask is that you subscribe to my channel, please. Like and get involved. Comments, drop comments. Massive thank you to George as always. Massive thank you to Super Kevin Campbell, and a huge Hollywood Balls thank you to you, Alexandra.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. It's been nice to have you on and just talk about my love of David Beckham, etc.
We will see you all next Saturday. Stay tuned, and if you can get a chance, tune in and see Kev this week on whatever he does, because it's always entertaining with Super Kevin Campbell. That's it for us. See you next week.